Chosen one. Listen carefully. You have endured the furnace of trials, and now heaven has spoken. It is finished. The hardest season of your life has closed. What once felt like an endless valley has now become the very ground of your rising. You have passed the test no one thought you could survive, and the reward is already on its way. For years, you carried burdens that should have broken you. Nights weighed heavy, and days blurred into a cycle of silent battles. Yet you pressed forward, even when prayers seemed unanswered. You kept walking, even when friends turned away. You stood firm. That was the testing ground, the refining fire, and you did not faint. Picture a blacksmith at his forge. The raw iron is placed into the flames, beaten, reshaped, placed back into the fire, and beaten again, not to destroy it, but to strengthen it until it becomes a sword, unbreakable in battle. That is what your suffering has done to you. You are no longer fragile, you are forged. Let me share with you the journey of a chosen one who once lived through years of obscurity. Everything she touched seemed to wither. Every door she knocked on remained closed. People whispered, "She is finished." But she did not give up. She waited, though the waiting tore at her soul. Then suddenly, without warning, God lifted her into a position of honor. What once seemed like wasted years became the foundation of her testimony. Her story is not distant. It is a reflection of your own. You are like a seed buried beneath cold earth. For so long, no one could see what was happening in the dark. But deep beneath the soil, roots were forming. And now, the first sprout is breaking the ground. What once looked like death is revealing itself as life. The Word of God declares in the book of Psalms, chapter 30, verse 5, "Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning." Chosen one. The night of sorrow has expired. The morning of joy is dawning. The very tears that stained your pillow have become the rain that watered your harvest. You will not just survive, you will thrive. The battles you faced were not random. Every rejection was a redirection. Every betrayal was pruning dead branches to make room for new fruit. Every delay was a divine pause, positioning you for something greater than you could have imagined. You were not being punished, you were being prepared. And now, the announcement is clear. The season of struggle has ended. Wealth in every sense of the word is being released. Peace that cannot be shaken. Joy that cannot be stolen. Provision that cannot be explained by logic. Picture a river long held back by a dam. For years, the pressure has built up behind it. Then, in a single moment, the barrier breaks and the water floods freely. That is what is happening now in your life. I want you to pause and reflect. Do you sense the shift? Do you feel the release? If this message resonates, do not keep it hidden. Let your faith be visible. Like, share, and write your agreement in the comments so that others may also find strength. And if you haven't subscribed yet, stay connected, because these words are stepping stones laid out for your journey forward. Your life is entering its appointed season. Heaven has stamped the decree. Test completed. Season shifted. Wealth released. No man, no system, no enemy can reverse what God has already written. Seal this word by commenting this number, 222, a prophetic sign of divine alignment and confirmation. Chosen one. Pause and imagine what your life will look like 1 year from now If you fully step into this shift, doors you once knocked on without answer will swing open at your arrival. Relationships marked by misunderstanding will be healed or replaced with divine connections. Opportunities that seemed impossible will be laid at your feet, not because you chased them, but because they were assigned to you. This is what divine timing looks like. It chases you down. Do not allow fear to whisper lies in your ear. Fear will try to convince you that the test is not really over, that the blessing is not really yours. But the truth is written in your spirit. The test has been passed. You are already walking into victory. Heaven's decree is final, and no one can reverse what has been declared over you. Chosen one. Step boldly. Step with faith. Step as one who has endured, overcome, and is now crowned with a new season. The storm has ended. The rainbow has appeared, and your path is lit with divine favor. Comment: 222 now. As your prophetic agreement, heaven and earth will bear witness. Chosen one. The years you thought were wasted were never wasted at all. They were years of hidden training. Years when heaven was sharpening you in secret. Every delay, every rejection, every closed door was not punishment, but preparation. You were in a classroom invisible to human eyes, and God Himself was your teacher. Think about how a sculptor works. A block of marble sits untouched, ordinary, unnoticed. Then, with careful strikes of the chisel, piece after piece is removed. To the untrained eye, it looks like destruction, but to the sculptor, it is the revelation of beauty. That was your life. Every disappointment was a chisel. Every unanswered prayer was a strike against the stone. Heaven was carving away what could not go with you into your next season, so that the true form of your destiny could appear. There was a time when you cried, "Why me?" You could not see that your path was different because your calling was different. Others seemed to move ahead effortlessly, while you remained in waiting. But chosen ones are not called to walk the easy path. You were being trained for endurance, for wisdom, for strength. You were being equipped to carry what ordinary people cannot bear. Let me bring you into a story. There was once a young man marked for greatness. He dreamed dreams too large for his family to understand. Out of jealousy, he was betrayed by his own blood, sold into slavery, and forgotten in a foreign land. To the world, his life looked cursed, but in truth, each pit, each prison, each delay was training for the palace. When the moment of calling finally arrived, he was not only ready to rule, but equipped to save a nation. His name was Joseph, and like him, your years of obscurity have not been wasted, they have been sacred preparation. The world around you may have called those seasons loss. Heaven called them foundation, because what is being built on your life cannot collapse at the first sign of shaking. A skyscraper requires deeper foundations than a shack. The greater the destiny, the deeper the digging. That is why you had to go through more, wait longer, and endure heavier trials than others. You were never behind, you were being rooted. Think of a tree planted in drought, while others sprout quickly in the rain and fade when the sun scorches. This tree pushes its roots deeper underground, searching for water hidden from sight. At first, it looks lifeless, but in time, when storms come, it alone remains standing. That is you, chosen one. Your hidden years were not the absence of life, They were the strengthening of your roots. And there is something else. Hidden training builds humility. You learned to pray when no one applauded. You learned to fight when no one cheered. You learned to give when no one noticed. These unseen acts were not forgotten. They were counted. They were treasures stored in heaven's record. Now, as wealth and abundance approach, your heart has been tested and proven. You will not be destroyed by the blessing, because you were first refined in the lack. According to what is revealed in the book of James, chapter 1, verses 2 to 4, consider it pure joy when you face many trials, because the testing of faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so you may be mature and complete, lacking nothing. Do you see now how nothing was wasted? The nights of loneliness trained you to recognize true connection. The seasons of lack trained you to value provision. The betrayals trained you to walk in discernment. The silence of God trained you to trust His timing. Every detail was a lesson. Every season was a classroom. The training is over, but the wisdom remains. And this wisdom will be the foundation for the wealth arriving. For wealth without wisdom is destruction. But wealth carried by the trained heart becomes life-giving, not just for you, but for generations after you. So take a breath. Look back, not with regret, but with revelation. You were never abandoned. You were never overlooked. You were hidden on purpose, trained on purpose, shaped on purpose. And now, the world will see the result of what heaven has been building in you all along. Chosen one. You will look back one day and smile at the very nights that once made you weep, because those nights became the womb of your wisdom. What others called delay will be revealed as divine design. You were not simply surviving, you were being sculpted, and now the unveiling has begun. Your hidden training was the seed, and the harvest is already breaking through the soil. Chosen one, you have walked through fire, and though the flames were fierce, they did not consume you. What you endured was not sent to kill you, it was sent to refine you. Gold does not shine in its raw state. It must be purified through heat until every impurity is burned away. That is what your hardest seasons have done. They did not define your end. They revealed your true worth. Imagine standing inside a glassblower's workshop. A lump of molten glass, fragile and formless, is placed in the fire. Again and again it is spun, shaped, and returned to the furnace. At first, it seems the glass will shatter under the heat. But the fire is not meant to break it. It is meant to form it into something strong, beautiful, and unrecognizable from its original state. That is you, chosen one. The fire was your transformation. There were moments when you thought, "This is too much." The weight of betrayal pressed hard. The silence of God felt endless. You looked at others, and their lives appeared effortless compared to your struggle. But chosen ones are not forged in comfort, they are forged in fire. You carried burdens heavier than most, because your calling is greater than most. Do you remember the nights when you felt you would not make it until morning? Yet here you are, stronger, wiser, sharper. What once would have crushed you no longer has power. You survived what was meant to destroy you. And that survival itself is proof that you are marked by heaven. We are reminded through the writings of David in the book of Psalms, chapter 66. Verse 10, "For you, God, tested us, you refined us like silver." This is why the people around you could not understand. They thought you were simply unlucky. They whispered that maybe you were cursed. But what they could not see was that you were in a divine process. Heaven's hand was on you the entire time, even in the heat, especially in the heat. Consider the story of another chosen one I once heard of. For years, he lost job after job, home after home. Friends turned away. Family mocked him. He nearly gave up. But later, when breakthrough came, he looked back and realized each loss had carved away pride. Each failure had burned away impatience. By the time his abundance arrived, he had the character to carry it well. Without the fire, the blessing would have crushed him. The same is true for you. Chosen one, the fire you walked through was your making. Without it, you would not have the strength to hold the crown that is coming. The flame has burned away what was false. What remains is unshakable. What remains is glorious. Now pause for a moment. Acknowledge this truth. Your fire was not wasted. It was holy ground. And if you receive this truth today, I invite you to make it known. Comment these words. Fire shaped me. This is not just a sentence, it is a declaration. It means you recognize that every flame you endured did not destroy you, but crafted you into someone stronger, sharper, and destined for more. When others read your words, they too will find courage in their own furnace, knowing that the fire is not their end, but their transformation. Your comment becomes more than text. It becomes a spark that lights the path for someone else still in the flames. Chosen one, your fire is finished. The refining has ended. The gold has been revealed. And now, wealth and glory can rest safely on your life because the fire has proven you faithful. The refining fire has done more than strengthen you. It has given you vision. Trials strip away illusions. And in the fire, you learn to see clearly. You no longer measure life by temporary wins or losses. You see deeper, past the surface, into what truly matters. That clarity will guide you in this new season, ensuring that wealth does not cloud your purpose. The fire also birthed compassion. Because you suffered, you can now recognize suffering in others. You know the sound of a breaking heart, the silence of someone holding back tears, the weight of waiting in darkness. This compassion will make you a trustworthy vessel of abundance, because your blessing will not stop with you. It will flow outward. You will know how to lift others, not out of pity, but out of genuine understanding. Finally, the fire has given you resilience. You now carry proof that storms pass, that flames end, and that what remains is stronger. This resilience is your crown, chosen one. Something in the atmosphere has shifted. You may not see it with your natural eyes yet, but your spirit has already sensed it. That subtle weight lifting from your chest, that unusual peace rising in your heart, is a sign. The season of lack has ended. Heaven has made an announcement over your life, and the earth will soon reflect it. You have lived under the shadow of delay, but the shadow is breaking. For too long you felt as if you were walking in circles, repeating the same battles with no change. That was the wilderness. And though the wilderness trains, it does not last forever. There is always a Jordan River to cross, and always a promised land waiting on the other side. Think of the way dawn arrives. The sky remains dark for hours, but at a precise moment, The horizon begins to soften. At first, it is almost unnoticeable, but then color spills across the heavens. Night does not resist it, simply fades, making way for the morning. That is where you are now. Your personal dawn is breaking. The night has no authority to hold you anymore. This shift is not only external, it is internal. In the past, you lived with a survival mindset. Every step felt like a struggle to hold on, to not lose ground. But now, heaven has released a new rhythm in you. Instead of surviving, you will begin thriving. The thoughts of, "I don't have enough," will be replaced with, "I am more than equipped." The feeling of, "I must fight for every inch," will be replaced with, "Doors open before me." This transformation within is the evidence of the transformation around you. Consider how farmers work. They can labor through a season of drought, watering the soil as best they can, hoping their seeds are not wasted. It feels like nothing is happening. But once the rains come, the land responds quickly. Seeds that seemed dead burst into life overnight. It is not that the seeds were lifeless before, they were simply waiting for the right atmosphere. That is your life. Chosen one. The atmosphere has changed, and what was lying dormant in you will suddenly spring forth. The prophet Habakkuk once described a vision that would not tarry forever, but would arrive at its appointed time. That is the truth you are standing in. Appointed time is not just a date on a calendar. It is a divine alignment when heaven says, "Now." For you, the now has come. You may find yourself noticing small signs: unexpected favor, unexpected peace, unexpected opportunities. Do not dismiss them. These are not random coincidences. They are evidence of the shift. When the tide changes in the ocean, it is subtle at first, but eventually, every wave follows the new rhythm. The same is happening in your life. The little signs are proof of a larger tide turning in your favor. Let me share a picture with you. A chosen one once endured years of obscurity. Every effort failed. Every plan collapsed. Then one day, while walking through the same marketplace he had walked 1,000 times before, a single conversation opened the door to destiny. He later said he felt nothing different that morning, but heaven had already changed the atmosphere. That one shift carried him from insignificance into influence. The same unseen shift is happening for you. Chosen one. You are no longer standing in the old season. The chains that kept you bound have been broken. The voice that whispered, "You'll never rise," has been silenced. The atmosphere around you is declaring new life, new provision, new opportunity. The ancient words recorded in the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 19 declare, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." Man, the atmosphere has shifted because God Himself has spoken. Where there was barrenness, there will be fruitfulness. Where there was wandering, there will be direction. Where there was drought, there will be overflow. Your responsibility now is not to strive, but to align. Lift your perspective, open your heart, and walk as one who knows the air has changed. The wilderness season is behind you. The promised atmosphere is here, and nothing will be the same again. Chosen one. Breathe it in the fresh wind of a new season. What once felt heavy will now feel light. The very ground that resisted you will now yield to you. Just as spring cannot be stopped by winter, This new atmosphere cannot be reversed. You are stepping forward into a reality prepared long before today. Chosen one. The keys are in your hands. The doors that once remained locked, no matter how hard you knocked, are now turning on their hinges. You are stepping into a season where access is granted, not because of human favor, but because heaven has placed authority within you. Think of a master key. It looks no different from any other key at first glance, yet when it touches the right lock, doors open effortlessly. That is what God has placed in you, an unseen authority that shifts situations and unlocks what was once sealed. This key is not made of metal. It is made of endurance, faith, and obedience. For years, you stood before doors that would not open. It felt cruel. You pushed. You waited. You wept. But heaven was not rejecting you. It was reserving the right moment. Just as a door must be opened at the appointed hour, your access has been timed perfectly. And now, chosen one, the locks are clicking open. There is a passage of wisdom that speaks with clarity. According to what is revealed in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 8z, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. This promise was not reserved for the past. It echoes into your present moment. The keys represent not only opportunity, but also responsibility. A door does not open just for you to admire the hallway. It opens for you to walk through, to occupy new territory, and to steward what lies inside. This is why the tests were so long and so heavy. You were being trusted with authority. And now, you will not just open doors for yourself, but for others who could not find the way. Imagine carrying a lantern in a dark cave. You find the hidden passage, and once you pass through, you leave the lantern behind so others can see and follow. That is what your life will become. The keys given to you are not selfish gifts. They are kingdom tools to help others walk into freedom. And as you step through, I want to speak from the heart. Messages like this, spoken into your life, crafted to strengthen and uplift, are themselves open doors. They are not accidents on your screen. They are part of the keys placed in your path. If these words have touched you, I invite you to respond in ways that keep the flow alive. Like this message, not as a duty, but as planting a small seed in fertile soil. Each like is a drop of water that helps this seed grow into a tree of encouragement for others. Share it as if you were passing a torch in the dark. The light you carry might be the very flame someone else needs to keep walking through their night. Subscribe not as a routine click, but as building yourself a resting place by a river. Each return is another sip of living water for your weary soul. And let me speak gently, carefully, about something deeper. When you donate, it is not a transaction. It is like pouring oil into a lamp so its flame can keep burning through the longest night. Your giving becomes a lighthouse for souls still lost at sea. If you feel stirred in your heart, then let it be your choice, your joy, your act of partnership. Not everyone is called to give in the same way, and there is no pressure. But if your spirit says, "This matters, and I want to help keep it burning," then know that your seed is like rain falling on fertile ground. It multiplies far beyond what you see. Chosen one, you hold keys, but you also help place keys in the hands of others. Your yes opens doors for people you may never meet, but whose lives will be changed forever. So, step forward. Use the authority you've been given. Celebrate the doors now opening before you. And if your heart leads, help keep the lanterns burning for those still finding their way. This is how chosen ones walk not only through doors, but as door openers for generations to come. Chosen one. Every open door is also a doorway into legacy. You are not walking into rooms for yourself alone. You are carrying generations with you. Your obedience today will echo tomorrow in the lives of those who follow your footsteps. And remember, authority without love is empty. As you step forward, carry compassion in one hand and boldness in the other. You are not just unlocking spaces, you are building pathways, marking trails, and leaving lights burning for countless others yet to come. Chosen one. The heavens speak in signs. And today, one such sign is being revealed to you. Numbers are not accidents in the language of God. They are markers. Prophetic codes written into the fabric of creation. When you see them at the right time, they are confirmations that you are aligned with destiny. And right now, heaven is placing a divine number before you as evidence that wealth, peace, and favor are unfolding in your life. For so long, you wrestled with doubt, asking if you were truly chosen, if your life was meant for more than survival. You questioned why your path seemed so hard, why doors shut in your face while others breezed through life. But now, everything is being revealed. The delay was not rejection, it was alignment. The heavens were arranging every piece so that when the number appeared, it would not just be a coincidence, but a covenant. Let me show you a picture. Imagine a traveler walking at night, unsure if he is heading in the right direction. Then suddenly, on a tree, he sees a carved sign pointing forward. Relief fills his heart because he knows he is not lost. He is on the path. That is what this prophetic number will be for you. It is a divine signpost carved into your journey, saying, yes, you are aligned. Yes, your path is correct. Yes, wealth is arriving. Oh, we find in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 8, the Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. Oh, chosen one, can you see it? You were never abandoned. Even in the silence, even in the waiting, the Lord was ahead of you, marking the path. The prophetic number being revealed is simply confirmation of what has always been true. You are not alone, and you will not be forsaken. There was once a man I knew of who struggled with failure after failure. Businesses collapsed, relationships fell apart, and he nearly lost hope. But during one of his darkest moments, he began seeing a certain number everywhere, on receipts, on clocks, on addresses. At first, he dismissed it as chance, until one day he heard a message confirming that the number symbolized divine realignment. His life changed from that moment. He believed again. He moved forward again, and doors began opening. That number became a witness to him that heaven was guiding his steps. Your story is unfolding in the same way. What you thought was silence is now breaking into signs. What you thought was randomness is becoming revelation. The number revealed to you today is heaven's signature on your destiny. Chosen one. Pause and let this sink deep. Prophetic numbers are not about superstition. They are about synchronization. When you see them, it is not about luck. It is about alignment. They whisper to you, look closer. Heaven is speaking. And today, I declare over you, your number is 444. This is the sign of divine establishment, stability, and open doors that cannot be closed. It is the mark of foundations being secured so that the house of your future can stand strong. Every shaky ground beneath your feet is being firmed. Every unstable season is being stabilized. 444 is heaven's way of saying, you are firmly planted, and now you will flourish. Oh, think of a mighty bridge being built across a deep canyon. Before anyone can walk across, the foundation must be tested. The pillars must be secured. For years, it may look like nothing is happening as the builders work deep below the surface. But once the foundation is established, the bridge rises quickly. And suddenly what seemed impossible becomes possible. That is what 444 means for you. Your foundations are now established, and your bridge to destiny is complete. I want you to do something prophetic. In the comments, write this number, 444, not as a ritual, but as a declaration. When you type it, you are saying, my foundations are firm, my life is aligned, my doors are open. This simple act becomes your agreement with what heaven has already decreed. Others will read your comment and feel stirred, encouraged, and reminded that they are not alone. Your number becomes not just your sign, but a shared testimony, a ripple of faith that travels far beyond what you can see. Chosen one. Wealth is arriving not because of chance, but because of covenant. And now you have been given your confirmation. Walk boldly, with your eyes lifted, knowing you are established, secured, and favored. Chosen one. The tables are turning swiftly. What once was a story of defeat will now become a testimony of victory. Those who dismissed you, who counted you out, who whispered behind your back that you would never rise, they are about to witness the hand of God lift you in plain sight. There is a principle woven into creation. Seasons never remain the same. Winter yields to spring. Night surrenders to morning. And sorrow eventually bows to joy. In the same way, your season of humiliation is yielding to a season of exaltation. The shift is not slow, not gradual, but swift. Just as a storm cloud can suddenly break and reveal clear skies, your situation will change, with speed that surprises even you. Think of a chessboard. For a long time, it looked like you were cornered, with no moves left. Every piece seemed to be against you. Yet at the right moment, a single move flips the entire game. What looked like defeat becomes checkmate in your favor. That is what heaven is doing now, flipping the board. It is important to understand this turning of the tables is not about revenge. It is not about proving your enemies wrong for the sake of pride. No. This is about vindication. Vindication means being publicly proven right after being misunderstood, mocked, or rejected. It is God's way of saying, my hand was always on this one, and now everyone will see. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 20, verse 16, so the last will be first, and the first will be last. For years, you walked like the last. You were unseen, overlooked, even despised. But now, the turning is here. You will be moved from the back to the front, from the margins to the center. The same mouths that spoke against you will confess, Surely, the hand of the Lord is with them. Let me share a story. There was once a woman who was mocked by her own community. Her prayers for breakthrough seemed to go unanswered for years. People laughed behind her back, saying, "If God truly loved her, why is her life still barren?" She cried in secret, but never stopped believing. And then, one day, everything shifted. An opportunity came, a blessing poured out, and those who once mocked her were left speechless. They could no longer deny that she had been chosen all along. That is the same vindication awaiting you. The tables are turning, and with them comes restoration. Not just restoration of resources, but restoration of dignity. You will walk into rooms where once you were ignored, and now you will be honored. You will step into circles where your voice was once silenced, and now it will carry weight. The shift is not subtle, it is undeniable. This sudden reversal is not random. It is the fulfillment of the ancient promise. Those who humble themselves will be exalted. You endured the season of being overlooked because pride could not be part of your foundation. Now that humility has been forged in you, exaltation will not corrupt you. The rise will only make you more grounded, more compassionate, more aware of your purpose. Picture a river that has been dammed up for years. The water piles behind the wall, pressure building. At the right time, the dam is removed, and the release is instant. The flow rushes forth, unstoppable and overwhelming. That is how the tables turn in the life of the chosen. It looks delayed for years. Then suddenly, everything shifts in one moment. Chosen one. Your story is about to silence the laughter of your doubters, not by your effort, but by the undeniable evidence of transformation. You will not need to defend yourself. You will not need to argue or explain. The blessing itself will speak louder than any words. So walk forward with calm assurance. The tables are turning, and you are being positioned where you were always meant to be. Heaven has written the script, and nothing can rewrite it. Those who thought they had the final word will soon realize they never had the pen. Do not waste energy trying to convince anyone of who you are. The turning of the tables will do the convincing for you. The evidence will be too clear, too radiant, too undeniable. Chosen one, hold your peace. Where there was once mockery, there will be marvel. Where there was doubt, there will be declaration. Your rise is not to shame others, but to glorify the one who never left you in the shadows. The tables are turning, and all creation will bear witness to the shift written in your favor. Chosen one, you are not walking this journey alone. The unseen armies of heaven are already moving on your behalf. While you have wrestled in the visible world fighting through rejection, setbacks, and silence, there has been an invisible war raging above you. Angels have been dispatched, strategies have been written, and resources are being aligned to favor your destiny. The scriptures remind us that what we see is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. This means that even when you felt abandoned, heaven's armies surrounded you. Even when you thought your prayers were unheard, angels were carrying your petitions like incense before the throne. Imagine a king preparing a banquet. Before a single guest enters the hall, servants have already been at work for hours, placing the plates, lighting the lamps, arranging the seats. The guests may think the feast appeared suddenly, but in truth, preparation was happening all along. That is what the unseen realm has been doing for you. You are about to walk into a banquet already prepared. There is a powerful picture in the life of Elisha. His servant once looked out and saw enemy armies surrounding them. Fear gripped his heart, but Elisha prayed that his servant's eyes would be opened. And suddenly the young man saw hills full of horses and chariots of fire surrounding them. The enemies seemed overwhelming, but heaven's armies were far greater. Chosen one, if your eyes could see the fullness of what surrounds you now, you would never fear again. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. No, this is not poetic comfort. It is divine reality. You are not fighting for victory. You are fighting from victory. The battle has already been settled in the heavens. And what you will see now is only the manifestation of what has long been declared. Consider the image of a gardener planting seeds. He covers them with soil, waters them, and walks away. To the untrained eye, it looks like nothing is happening, but under the soil, life is bursting, roots are stretching, and change is accelerating. The gardener does not panic. He knows the unseen process will bear fruit in time. Likewise, your unseen armies are cultivating breakthroughs that will soon push through the surface of your life. Do you remember the moments you almost gave up? The sudden comfort you felt? The inexplicable peace that steadied you? The coincidences that saved you from disaster? These were not random. They were signs of heaven's intervention. Angelic presence guiding and protecting you. You were preserved not by luck, but by divine orchestration. And here is what makes this moment different. The alignment has intensified. The angels who once shielded you in the shadows are now going before you in battle. They are clearing paths, orchestrating encounters, and ensuring that wealth and favor meet you at the appointed place. The same God who parted seas for his people is still sending his armies to part barriers for you. There was once a man who narrowly escaped death more than once. Later, he confessed that each time he felt a strange hand pulling him away from danger. He could not explain it. But looking back, he realized that unseen armies had been sent to preserve his life for a greater purpose. You, too, have been carried through situations you did not even recognize as deadly. Heaven has preserved you because your assignment is not yet finished. Chosen one. You do not need to strive to summon these armies. They are already commissioned. You do not need to wonder if you are worthy. They surround you because you are chosen. Their mission is not optional. It is sealed by divine order. Picture a great orchestra tuning its instruments before a performance. The audience may only hear noise, scattered and uncoordinated. But at the conductor's signal, every instrument aligns, and a symphony begins. That is what the unseen realm is doing now, aligning every resource, every opportunity, every divine connection into harmony. Soon, the music of your breakthrough will play for all to hear. So rest in assurance. Your life is not left to chance. The unseen armies are not only defending you, they are advancing with you. You are walking into a prepared future, guarded and guided by heaven's host. And when the manifestation comes, it will not be small. It will be undeniable, overwhelming, and glorious. Chosen one. Stand tall. The armies that march beside you are countless, their strength unshakable. Every step you take forward is guarded, and every breath you breathe is protected. Chosen one. The crown of endurance is resting upon your head. You endured, what others could not. You pressed forward through storms that left others broken. You stood, even when trembling. And because of that, heaven has placed honor upon you. Your reward is not merely survival. It is not only wealth or opportunity. It is dignity restored, authority bestowed, and glory revealed. Endurance has carved something in you that no quick success ever could. Endurance has given you depth, resilience, and strength that cannot be shaken. Think of a mountain climber. Many begin the journey, but few make it to the summit. The ones who reach the top are not the strongest or fastest. They are the ones who refuse to quit. That is the essence of endurance. It is not glamour, it is grit. It is the quiet choice to keep going when no one is watching, when nothing seems to change, when quitting would be easier. Chosen one. Every sleepless night, every tear, every whispered prayer in the dark was counted. Heaven saw the moments you almost gave up, but chose instead to rise again. And now, the crown of endurance shines on your life. The apostle reminds us in his second letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verse 7, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. That is your testimony. You did not win by avoiding battles. You won by staying faithful through them. You did not gain strength by skipping the valley. You gained strength by walking through it and emerging still standing. Let me tell you the story of a chosen one who endured a long wilderness. Year after year, she saw others step into their blessings while she remained in waiting. Friends moved forward. Family prospered. But she stayed in obscurity. At times, she questioned if she had been forgotten. Yet she held on to her faith, even when her hands grew weary. Then, suddenly, at the appointed moment, her endurance became the very testimony that opened doors. People could not deny the beauty of her faith, and she was crowned with honor. Endurance is what sets you apart. Many can shine for a season, but few can remain steadfast through the long night. You are among the few. That crown cannot be bought or stolen. It is forged only in the furnace of perseverance. Now, chosen one, I want you to pause and acknowledge this truth. You have endured, and your endurance has crowned you. If this resonates with your spirit, declare it boldly in the comments. Write these words: I endured all. And this is not just a phrase, it is a seal. It proclaims that every hardship, every loss, every delay has not defeated you. Instead, it has crowned you. And as you write it, you are aligning yourself with heaven's declaration that your endurance has not been wasted, it has been rewarded. Others reading your words will find strength for their own battles. They will see that endurance is not weakness, but victory. Your declaration becomes a spark of courage, a reminder that chosen ones are not crowned by comfort, but by perseverance. Chosen one, lift your head. Wear the crown proudly, not in arrogance, but in gratitude. You endured, and because of that, you are crowned with glory, honor, and unshakable promise. The crown of endurance also carries with it authority. This authority does not shout, it whispers with weight. People will sense it. When you walk into a room, they may not know your full story, but something about your presence will command respect. Why? Because endurance gives birth to unshakable confidence. You no longer speak from theory. You speak from experience. You know storms, and you know survival. That alone sets you apart. Endurance also shifts your perspective. Where once you feared the future, now you recognize it as opportunity. Challenges no longer intimidate you. They remind you of what you have already overcome. This is why heaven crowns you now, because the future you are walking into requires the stability that only endurance can give. Wealth without endurance crumbles, but wealth placed on the head of the enduring becomes unshakable legacy. And let this truth sink deep. Your endurance was not private. Every tear and every prayer became seeds sown in the unseen. The harvest is both personal and generational. Those who come after you will eat from the fruit of your faithfulness. You are crowned, but the crown shines for others too, so wear it boldly. Chosen one. Endurance has not only preserved you, it has promoted you. Chosen one. The time of overflow has arrived. What once trickled will now pour. What once was scarce will now be abundant. You have endured the drought, and now the clouds are heavy with rain. The blessing coming upon your life cannot be contained. It will spill over, reaching not just you, but those around you. Imagine a cup being filled, drop by drop. You watched it rise slowly, almost painfully. At times, it seemed like it would never reach the brim. But now, the pouring has increased. The cup is not only full, it is overflowing. The table beneath it is wet, and everyone nearby is touched by the abundance. That is what your life is becoming, an overflowing vessel. We are reminded in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 9, verse 8, "And God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things, having all you need, you will abound in every good work." Overflow is not only about finances. It is peace that exceeds understanding. It is joy that no circumstance can steal. It is strength that multiplies even when others would collapse. This kind of blessing is so rich that it spills over, touching family, friends, and even strangers who cross your path. Think of a river breaking its banks. Farmers nearby may have struggled to water their fields, but once the flood comes, the land is saturated. Crops that once withered suddenly bloom with color. In the same way, your life will no longer require striving for every drop. The river of blessing will do the work. And now, allow me to speak from the heart. Messages like this are not accidents. They are like rivers flowing into your spirit, refreshing you, lifting you, reminding you of who you are. If this flow has touched your heart, I invite you to respond, not out of pressure, but out of freedom. Like this message, as if you are lighting a candle in a window. That little flame signals to others, there is hope here. There is light still burning. And share it not as a chore, but as passing bread at a table. You never know who is hungry for encouragement. Your share may be the meal their soul has been waiting for. Subscribe not as a routine, but as planting yourself beside a well. Every time you return, you draw fresh water for the journey ahead. And about giving, let me speak gently. When you donate, it is not payment, it is partnership. It is like pouring oil into a lamp so the flame can continue shining through the night, or like adding a stone to a foundation so that a house of hope can be built stronger and taller. Not everyone will feel called to give, and that is beautiful. Giving is never about pressure. It is about joy. It is about saying, I believe in this light, and I want to help it shine further. Just as rain does not fall on one field alone, Your gift ensures that many fields are watered. Consider this. A traveler finds shelter under a tree during a storm. That tree grew tall because someone once planted a seed. Your donation is like that seed. You may never meet the travelers who find shelter, but they will bless your name in silence because you helped make the tree grow. Chosen one. The overflow you are stepping into will not only sustain you, it will allow you to sustain others. You will not just receive, you will become a channel. What flows into you will flow out of you, multiplying blessings everywhere you go. So walk boldly into this new season. Lift your cup high and watch it spill over. The overflow cannot be stopped, and you are chosen to carry it. And if your heart leads you to keep this flow alive through your support, whether by a like, a share, a subscription, or even a donation, let it be your joy, your choice, your beautiful act of faith, because overflow is never selfish. It always multiplies. It always spills beyond, and it will always return to the one who pours out freely. Overflow also means rest. You will no longer live with clenched fists, fighting for scraps. Instead, your hands will open, and blessings will flow in and out with ease. What once demanded endless effort will now arrive like rain upon thirsty ground. And remember this, overflow is not random, it is covenant. It arrives because heaven chose you, prepared you, and now trusts you. Walk in it with humility. Share it with joy, and let your life become a stream that never runs dry. Chosen one. Wealth without purpose is like water spilled on barren ground. It disappears without fruit. But wealth with purpose becomes a river that nourishes fields, brings life to villages, and carves valleys into green abundance. The season you are entering is not only about increase for yourself, it is about assignment. The overflow on your life is connected to a greater mission. From the beginning, you were not designed to hoard blessings, but to channel them. The abundance arriving now has a destination. It is meant to pass through your hands and touch others. This does not diminish your joy, it multiplies it. Because when you see lives transformed through what you release, your heart will overflow with a satisfaction deeper than riches alone can give. Think of a shepherd entrusted with a flock. His wealth is not in the wool alone, but in the flourishing of the sheep. If he neglects them, he loses his purpose. But if he tends them faithfully, generations benefit from his care. In the same way, your wealth is tied to stewardship. Your mission is not only to live blessed, but to bless, to build, and to heal. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 25, a generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. Len, this is the secret of wealth with purpose. The more you pour, the more you receive. The cycle of generosity is heaven's economy. It never runs dry. Unlike earthly wealth, which fades and corrupts, purposeful wealth multiplies. Let me share a story. A chosen one once received a sudden breakthrough, unexpected financial blessing that far exceeded what he imagined. At first, he was tempted to keep it all, fearing the season of lack might return. But as he prayed, he felt compelled to support a struggling family nearby. Reluctantly, he obeyed. Later, to his astonishment, even greater doors opened: contracts, connections, opportunities. He realized then that his wealth was never just for himself. It was a current meant to flow outward, The more he released, the greater the river became. Purposeful wealth also goes beyond money. It is influence, wisdom, time, and compassion. When you sit with someone in pain and offer comfort, you are spending a currency heaven values. When you teach, guide, or mentor, you are distributing riches greater than gold. Wealth with purpose is measured not by how much you keep, but by how much life you generate around you. Consider a candle. If it hides its flame, the room remains dark. But when it burns, others see clearly. Though the candle gives of itself, it fulfills its reason for existing. You are that candle. The light within you is wealth, and your purpose is to let it shine into places still shrouded in shadows. Chosen one. Do not fear that pouring into others will leave you empty. The law of heaven is opposite to the fear of man. When you give, you expand. When you release, you multiply. When you refresh others, you are refreshed yourself. Your cup does not run dry, it runs deeper. This is why your wealth is arriving after endurance. Had it come earlier, fear or pride might have twisted it. But now, you carry the heart of a steward. You have learned empathy through pain, compassion through loneliness, generosity through your own lack. That character will ensure the wealth does not corrupt you, but fulfills its mission. Purposeful wealth also heals generations. The seeds you sow now will not only feed today, but will grow into trees of provision for tomorrow. Children not yet born will rise in environments transformed because of your faithfulness. Like a farmer planting orchards, you may not eat every fruit, but others will taste and bless your name long after you are gone. This is your calling, not to hoard but to channel, not to flaunt but to serve, not to simply rise but to lift. The wealth arriving is proof that you endured, but its purpose is that you build. So, chosen one, prepare your heart for this new dimension. You are not just stepping into riches, you are stepping into responsibility. And yet, this responsibility is joy, not burden, because nothing compares to the fulfillment of knowing your wealth became someone else's miracle. Your overflow became another's survival, and your testimony became their hope. Chosen one, let this truth anchor you. The wealth in your hands is not an end, but a river. It will carve paths through deserts, turn wastelands into gardens, and awaken songs in silent places. You are entrusted not just to receive, but to release. Not just to live, but to give life abundantly. Chosen one. Sometimes heaven speaks twice, not because the first word was weak, but because the second word seals it. When God confirms something, it is no longer just a promise, it becomes covenant. That is what is happening to you right now. The confirmation of your wealth, peace, and purpose is arriving again, and it is undeniable. You may have thought the first sign was coincidence. You may have wondered if it was your imagination. But now, the second signal comes, and it is clear. Heaven is deliberate. Nothing about your journey has been random. The same way, a judge stamps a decree twice to make it irrevocable. Your destiny is being sealed by confirmation. Imagine a builder testing a foundation. Once the stones are laid, he strikes them again to check their strength. If they hold, he declares them ready to build upon. That is what this confirmation is. It is heaven striking your foundation again and declaring it secure. It was proclaimed in the second letter to the Corinthians. Chapter 13, verse 1. Every matter must be established by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. This second sign is the witness you have been waiting for. It is heaven's way of silencing doubt and closing the door on fear. You don't have to wonder anymore. Your path has been confirmed. Think of the story of Gideon. He asked for a sign not once but twice. First, the fleece was wet while the ground was dry. Then, the fleece was dry while the ground was wet. God did not scold him for asking. Instead, he honored the request, confirming his word beyond question. That is what God is doing for you. You are stepping into wealth, not by chance, but by covenant. You are walking in abundance, not by accident, but by assignment. And now the confirmation is sealed with a number that carries prophetic weight. That number is 555. It symbolizes grace upon grace, divine mercy multiplied, and the fullness of transition into your destined season. Where you once felt stuck, you are now moving. Where you once feared, you are now assured. 555 is the echo of heaven saying, I have not only promised, I have confirmed. Oh, chosen one, I want you to act on this. Write this number, 555 inches, the comments, not as superstition, but as agreement. When you write it, you are saying, I receive the confirmation. I embrace the covenant. I walk boldly into my sealed destiny. Your words are not empty. They are seeds. And as others see your declaration, they too will be reminded that God confirms, God seals, God establishes. Your number will ripple as a testimony, carrying light into the lives of others who doubt their own path. Chosen one, the repetition is your reassurance. The second sign is your anchor, and the number is your seal. You can now walk without hesitation, knowing heaven has declared your way firm and unshakable. Chosen one, confirmation is not given to feed your doubt, it is given to strengthen your courage. Heaven knew the battles you faced left scars, and sometimes scars whisper fear. That is why a second word was sent, to silence those whispers once and for all. Confirmation also shifts responsibility. Once you know your path is sealed, hesitation must end. You cannot keep circling in uncertainty. Now you walk forward boldly, because heaven has given you the stamp of approval. To hesitate after confirmation is to deny the very grace given to you. Instead, you embrace it. And with every step you testify, I am established. Emzer, the number 555 is not random, it is layered. The first 5 speaks of grace that covered your past, forgiving your mistakes. The second 5 speaks of grace that empowers your present, giving you strength to stand. The third 5 speaks of grace for your future, ensuring your steps are ordered and your destiny complete. Together, they say, grace has been multiplied, mercy has been secured, and your season is sealed. So, carry this truth boldly. Your confirmation is not fragile, it is eternal. You are not just walking into wealth, you are walking into a covenant that cannot be broken. Chosen one, take this seal of confirmation and let it quiet every restless question. When doubt rises, answer it with the number you carry. Let it remind you that your journey is not uncertain, it is written. And as you walk forward, let confidence replace a hesitation. You do not stumble anymore. you stride with assurance. The confirmation has already gone before you, and the grace multiplied through 555 will meet you at every turn. Chosen one. Acceleration begins now. What once felt painfully slow, what once seemed endlessly delayed, is shifting into divine speed. The years of waiting, the seasons of delay, the cycles of repetition, all of it is breaking in this moment. You are stepping into a time where the pace of your destiny will outstrip the pace of your past. Acceleration does not mean chaos, it means alignment. When the pieces of a puzzle finally connect, the picture comes together rapidly. For years, you were searching for scattered fragments, confused by how nothing seemed to fit. But now, the last pieces are falling into place, and suddenly the image is clear. That clarity accelerates everything around you. Think of a sprinter waiting in the blocks. For long minutes, he crouches, still and tense, while the crowd grows restless. To the audience, it seems like nothing is happening, but the sprinter knows the race cannot begin until the signal sounds, and once it does, what seemed like stillness erupts into explosive speed. That is your life. Chosen one. The waiting was the crouch. The signal has now been given. The race has begun. Acceleration also means recovery of lost time. What others accomplished in a decade, you will achieve in a few years. The wasted seasons are not wasted anymore. They are redeemed. You will look back and marvel at how quickly things align, how swiftly doors open, how suddenly progress happens. The ancient words recorded in the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 25 declare, "I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten." Oh, this is heaven's promise of acceleration, that lost time is not lost forever. It is gathered, compressed, and poured back into your journey with multiplied effect. The years of silence, of emptiness, of struggle, will be outweighed by sudden bursts of favor. Let me tell you a story. A chosen one once endured a long wilderness of waiting. Decades of obscurity marked his life, and he believed his time had passed. But then, in a single year, opportunities came one after another, faster than he could have imagined. What he thought had been stolen was restored in multiplied form. He realized then that heaven does not measure time the way humans do. 1 year of acceleration can outweigh 10 years of delay. Picture a tree in winter. For months, it appears lifeless. Branches brittle and bare. Then spring arrives, and in a matter of days, buds burst forth. Leaves spread wide, and flowers bloom. The suddenness of the transformation makes you forget the long silence of winter. That is how acceleration works. It makes the waiting seem small compared to the abundance that follows. Chosen one. This acceleration is not reckless. It is purposeful. The same God who held you back is now propelling you forward. The speed is not to overwhelm you, but to place you exactly where you are meant to be. There will be moments you ask yourself, how is this happening so fast? Do not fear the pace. Do not resist the movement. What felt like delay was protection. What feels like speed is fulfillment. Heaven knows your capacity, and the grace for this acceleration is already within you. Acceleration also carries divine surprises, encounters, connections, opportunities. Things you did not see coming will appear suddenly. It is like the turning of a page in a storybook. One moment, the character is trapped. The next, The breakthrough is written. That suddenness is part of your new rhythm. Chosen one, be ready. This is the season where things that once dragged will now flow. The work you once begged to see bear fruit will now sprout quickly. The prayers you once whispered in tears will now be answered in rapid succession. You are stepping into divine acceleration, and nothing can slow it down. Acceleration also reveals who you have become. The long years of waiting taught you patience, but the sudden pace will reveal your readiness. You will see that the strength built in hidden seasons now allows you to run without stumbling. What once would have overwhelmed, you will now feel natural, because the delay trained you for the speed. Chosen one. Acceleration is also contagious. Those connected to you will feel the pull forward. Family, friends, even strangers who cross your path will sense the momentum and be carried by it. Your life becomes like a chariot, moving swiftly, and those who walk beside you are lifted into the same rhythm. So, embrace this moment. Do not look backward with regret, but forward with expectation. The time has come. The pace has shifted. The race has begun, and you will not be left behind. Chosen one. The time of unstoppable favor has come. Favor is not earned by striving or manipulation. It is granted as a gift from heaven. It is the unseen hand that tilts circumstances in your direction. The quiet whisper that opens doors no effort could force. Favor is more than luck. It is alignment with divine will. And when it arrives, nothing and no one can stand against it. Think of a flower blooming in the cracks of a stone wall. By every natural law, it should not thrive there. Yet it blossoms, vibrant and undeniable, because favor has chosen its place. That is you in this season. You are blooming in spaces where others said you could not grow. Favor is not loud, yet its impact is undeniable. When it rests upon you, opportunities begin to search for you instead of you chasing them. Your name is mentioned in rooms you have never entered. Your presence shifts the atmosphere without you striving to prove yourself. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 5, verse 12. Surely, Lord, you bless the righteous. You surround them with your favor as with a shield. This favor does not just touch one area of your life. It surrounds you like a shield. It protects, defends, and elevates, even in environments that should resist you. Favor creates openings, even among voices that oppose you. Favor gives you a place at the table. Let me tell you of a chosen one who once lived in obscurity. She was overlooked repeatedly in her workplace, ignored during promotions, and treated as invisible, but she did not fight with bitterness. Instead, she kept her integrity, worked diligently, and trusted quietly. One day, a sudden shift came. Leadership changed, and her name was lifted to the forefront. She was offered a role she had not even applied for. When asked why, the new director simply said, "Your name kept coming to me." That is favor. It bypasses systems, bypasses logic, and brings recognition that cannot be explained. Favor also means speed. What took others years to build may take you months. What exhausted others will flow easily in your hands. Favor is like the wind behind a sailboat. It propels you forward faster than your own rowing ever could. You still steer, but the acceleration comes from beyond you. Picture a key sliding into a lock and turning smoothly. That is what favor feels like, effortless access where others struggle. And once you experience it, you realize it was never your strength that opened doors. It was the invisible grace resting on you. But understand this, favor is not given for vanity. It is given for assignment. When Esther was chosen as queen, it was not only for her beauty, it was for her role in saving a nation. Your favor carries the same weight. It positions you not only to rise, but to lift. It is a responsibility disguised as a blessing, and this is why you must walk carefully. Do not let favor breed arrogance. Do not mistake it as your own doing. Instead, wear it with humility, knowing it is entrusted to you for a purpose. Humility preserves favor. Pride repels it. Chosen one. Favor will cause people to see in you what they overlooked before. They will notice your wisdom, your integrity, your light. Favor will cause circumstances to align. Even when resources seem scarce, it will draw opportunities to your path like rivers flowing to the sea. And when others ask, "How did this happen so quickly?" your only answer will be, "It was the favor of God." So, prepare yourself. Not with anxiety, but with readiness. The shield of favor surrounds you. The wind of favor carries you. The key of favor opens doors before you. You are entering a season where what was once denied will now be delivered. Not by force, but by grace. Chosen one. Unstoppable favor is your portion now, and nothing can stand against it. Chosen one. Favor also acts like a cloak. You may walk into rooms where, by every natural measure, you should be overlooked. Yet, when you enter, eyes are drawn and ears lean in, not because of your outward status, but because heaven has draped you in recognition. And remember, favor is not seasonal, it is generational. What you walk in now will ripple into the lives of your children and those connected to you. The paths you enter with ease will become roads they can walk without struggle. The doors opening for you now will remain unlocked for others after you. That is the enduring power of unstoppable favor. It multiplies far beyond your lifetime. Chosen one. Your story is about to be made public. What you endured in silence, what you carried in hidden seasons, what you suffered when no one else noticed, heaven is now bringing into the light. This is not exposure to shame you, but vindication to crown you. The same voices that doubted you will witness your rise. The same eyes that overlooked you will see your elevation. The same hearts that judged you will have to confess, "Surely, the hand of God has been upon this one." Public vindication is not about revenge. It is about testimony. Heaven is turning your private tears into public proof that faith is never wasted. What once seemed like weakness will now be celebrated as endurance. Where people saw defeat, they will now see resilience. Where they expected failure, they will now behold flourishing. Think of a seed buried in the soil. For months it seems invisible, forgotten, even dead. Then, suddenly, it pushes through the ground, reaching upward toward the light. No one saw the hidden struggle beneath the soil, but everyone sees the bloom. That is vindication. The unseen process becomes undeniable fruit. According to what is revealed in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 18, I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory to be revealed in us. The glory is not private anymore. It is about to be revealed. The stage of your life is being set, and heaven is ensuring that those who doubted you will see the undeniable transformation. But listen carefully. This vindication is not yours alone. It is for others too. Your rise becomes their reminder. Your testimony becomes their hope. Your bloom becomes their encouragement that their own season is coming. Chosen one. Let me pause here to speak heart to heart. These words you are hearing are not random. They are like a mirror held before you, showing what heaven sees. And if this mirror reflects your own journey, then I invite you to take small, beautiful steps of response, not forced, not pressured, but chosen. Like planting flowers in a garden. Like this message, not only as placing a stone into a river, but as planting a seed into the soil. One seed may look insignificant, but in time it becomes a tree, offering shade to many. Share this word not only as opening a window in a crowded room, but as releasing a paper boat into the stream. You may never know where it drifts, but it will reach someone waiting on the other shore. Subscribe not only as building a well in dry land, but as raising a small house along the road. Each return becomes a place of rest for you and for weary travelers who follow. And about giving, hear this softly. When you donate, it is not about transaction. It is like adding wood to a fire in the night. Yes, but also like placing another instrument into a grand symphony. Your note joins others, lifting the music until the whole room shines with light. And finally, leave your words in the comments, not only as planting a banner in the ground, but as carving your testimony into stone along the path. A tired traveler may pause, read your words, and find the courage to keep walking. Chosen one. Public vindication is coming, but even before it arrives, you can participate in spreading the testimony. Every act your like, your share, your subscription, your donation, your comment is another ripple of vindication, proving that chosen ones are rising everywhere. The world will soon see what heaven already knows. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are not defeated. You are vindicated, crowned, and raised for such a time as this. Vindication also restores dignity. For too long, others defined you by your struggles, by your waiting, by your silence. But when heaven lifts you, those labels fall away. You are no longer known by what you endured. You are known by what you overcame. Vindication also carries influence. When others see the transformation, they will lean in to listen. Your life itself becomes a sermon, louder than words, more convincing than arguments. Without striving, you will inspire hope, stir faith, and awaken courage in those who once gave up. And vindication builds legacy. The fruit of your endurance will not die with you. It will remain, like a torch passed down, lighting paths for those who follow. That is the beauty of this moment, not only that you rise, but that your rising becomes a landmark of faith for generations. Chosen one. There comes a time when a season is no longer fragile, no longer uncertain, but sealed. What is sealed by heaven cannot be undone by man. The wealth, wisdom, and authority now resting upon your life are not fleeting gifts, they are permanent mantles. You have been marked, and nothing can erase that mark. Sealing is not only protection, it is ownership. When a king seals a decree with his ring, It becomes unbreakable law. When a letter is sealed with wax, it carries authenticity. When heaven seals your life, it is a declaration: this one belongs to me, and what I have given them shall remain. That is the weight of your new season. Think of a crown placed upon the head of a monarch. It is not a borrowed piece of jewelry, but a permanent symbol of authority. Once the crown rests, no enemy can deny the ruler's legitimacy. In the same way, your crown of wealth and wisdom is not decoration, it is identity. You have been raised to walk as one carrying heaven's authority in both spirit and substance. We find in the book of Ephesians, chapter 1, verse 13, when you believed, you were marked in him with a seal, the promised Holy Spirit. This seal is your guarantee. It means what you have received is not temporary, not subject to theft, not fragile. You are sealed with glory, and nothing in this world can break that seal. Let me tell you a story of a chosen one who lived many years in uncertainty. He felt as though every breakthrough slipped through his fingers. Every door he entered seemed to shut again. But one day, he received a revelation: what God seals, man cannot unseal. From that moment, his life shifted. He stopped fearing loss and started walking boldly. Soon after, opportunities came that no opposition could reverse. His testimony became a living witness that sealed seasons cannot be stolen. Chosen one. You no longer need to fear instability. The days of almost and nearly are behind you. You will not rise only to fall again. The blessing on your life is not fragile, it is anchored. You have been sealed in permanence. Think of a tree planted by rivers of water. Its roots grow deep, holding firmly, even when storms rage. While weaker plants are uprooted, this tree remains. That is you now rooted, established, immovable. Your wealth is not like shifting sand, it is like stone set in foundation. Your wisdom is not like mist that vanishes, it is like fire that endures. Your authority is not borrowed, it is inherited. And what does this seal mean for your future? It means the uncertainty that haunted you no longer has a voice. It means the fear of sudden loss no longer holds you. It means your days of questioning, will this last, have ended? The seal has spoken. Yes, it will last. This sealing also carries responsibility. Sealed things are sacred. You have been entrusted with gifts that must be guarded with humility and stewarded with care. Your wealth is not only for you. Your wisdom is not only for you. Your authority is not only for you. They are sealed into your life so that you may bless, build, and lead. Picture a vessel filled with precious oil. If it is unsealed, the oil leaks, wasted before it reaches its purpose. But when sealed, the oil is preserved until it is poured out in the right time. Your life has been sealed for such preservation. The oil within you, the anointing, the wisdom, the resources will not be wasted. It will be poured at the appointed time and place, achieving maximum impact. Chosen one. Understand this clearly. Sealed seasons are untouchable. No whisper of the enemy can revoke it. No opposition of man can overturn it. No storm of life can uproot it. You are walking in permanence, anchored by the seal of heaven. So walk now with assurance. Do not look over your shoulder, fearing that what you have gained will slip away. The seal is your confidence. Wealth rests. Wisdom flows. Authority stands all sealed upon your life, and this seal will carry you not only through today, but into tomorrow and into eternity. Chosen one. Sealed blessings do not flicker like candles in the wind, they burn steady, like a torch guarded in glass. The seal ensures consistency where once there was instability. And remember this, being sealed means you are set apart. Not everyone will understand it, and that is fine. The seal is not for their recognition, but for your protection. What is sealed by heaven belongs forever to heaven's plan. Chosen one. You have entered the crowned era. This is not a fleeting moment of celebration, nor a passing glimpse of favor. It is a new identity, a new reality, a permanent mantle placed upon you. You are no longer the one wandering in waiting. You are the one crowned in victory. The crown signifies completion. It is the symbol that the race has been finished. The test has been passed. The assignment has been honored. Every tear, every delay, every battle was leading to this moment when heaven places the crown upon your head and declares, "Well done." No. Think of an athlete who trains for years in obscurity, countless mornings before dawn, countless nights in exhaustion, countless sacrifices no one else noticed. To the outside world, it looked meaningless, but when the day of victory arrives and the medal is placed around their neck, suddenly every hidden struggle is remembered as purpose. That is your life. Chosen one. The hidden years now make sense, for they have led to this crowning era. The crown also represents authority, not authority to dominate, but to govern, to lead, to steward. You are crowned not just to shine, but to guide. People will look to you not because of status, but because of the weight of heaven resting upon you, as written in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. This crown is more than wealth, more than recognition, more than opportunity. It is life itself. Life in abundance. Life in fullness. Life that overflows. It is the mark of heaven's favor and the proof of your perseverance. Consider a king's coronation. The moment the crown touches the head, the old identity fades. No longer common, no longer wandering, no longer striving. The crowned one is transformed into a ruler. That is what heaven has declared over you. You are not common. You are not forgotten. You are chosen, crowned, and commissioned. Let me share a story. There was once a man who felt invisible his entire life. He was overlooked at work, neglected by family, and dismissed by peers. For years, he believed the whispers that said, "You are nothing," but through his endurance, his faith, and his quiet acts of love, a shift came. Suddenly, opportunities appeared, relationships were restored, and honor was given. He said, "It feels like I've been crowned." His life became the living picture of this truth. Crowns are given to those who endure. The crowned era also means legacy. The crown you wear is not only for your lifetime, it will echo beyond you. Children and communities will benefit from the authority you now carry, the decisions you make, the blessings you release. The wisdom you share will ripple forward into generations. Your crown is not fragile jewelry, it is an eternal inheritance. Picture a torch passed from one runner to another in a relay. The flame never dies, it is carried forward. That is your crown. It is not just for your moment, it is for every soul who will come after you. Running stronger because you carried the flame faithfully. Chosen one. You are crowned with wisdom, so that your words will heal. You are crowned with wealth, so that your hands will provide. You are crowned with honor, so that your story will inspire. And above all, you are crowned with life, so that your presence itself carries light into dark places. This era will not be marked by striving, but by reigning. You will not live as one chasing, but as one established. The battles you once fought will no longer define you. They will be your testimonies. The crown has shifted your identity from fighter to ruler, from survivor to carrier of glory. Chosen one. Wear your crown with humility, for it was given by grace. Wear it with boldness, for it was earned through perseverance. Wear it with joy, for it is the fulfillment of promise. The crowned era is here, and you are walking in it now, unstoppable, unshakable, crowned for eternity. Chosen one. A crown is not hidden in shadows, it shines openly. Do not shrink back as if you are still the person of yesterday. The crown calls you to stand tall, to let the world see what heaven has placed upon you. And remember this, a crown is not only worn on the head, it rests in the heart. It shapes your thoughts, your words, your choices. Walk as one crowned within, not just without. For true royalty is revealed through character as much as appearance. Chosen one. You have reached the close of this journey, but truly it is only the beginning. Every word you have heard has been a map, guiding you from struggle into destiny, from delay into fulfillment, from testing into crowning. You are not the same as when you began. You now walk sealed, crowned, and overflowing. But the journey does not end with you. What you carry is meant to ripple outward. Your testimony is light for those still walking in the valley. Your rise is proof that endurance births glory. And so, even here at the end, I invite you into something beautiful, not obligation, not duty, but chosen acts that extend the flame further. Like this message, not only as placing a lantern on a hilltop, but as lighting incense in a temple. The smoke rises upward, carrying the fragrance of a prayer into the heavens. Share this word, not only as offering bread from your table, but as releasing a dove into the skies. You may not know where it will land, but somewhere, a weary soul will smile at its arrival. Subscribe, not only as returning to a well-dug deep, but as coming home after a long journey. Each visit back is warmth at the hearth, a fire waiting to embrace you again. To donate is not payment, it is planting. Yes, but also like lighting another candle in an ancient cathedral, your flame joins others, until darkness has nowhere left to hide. And comment your words, not only as carving hope into stone, but as singing into a valley. Your voice will echo long after, guiding travelers who pass by and giving rhythm to their weary steps. Chosen one. The script ends here, but your crowned era continues. Walk forward, shine brightly, and let your life itself become the message.